Hello, Steve White, Trickboy89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, the day before Star Trek Day, the 54th anniversary of Star Trek, I finally got my Star Trek the Motion Picture inside the Art and Visual Effects book by Jeff Bond and Gene Kozicki. I didn't realise it came out at the start of August and went to check when it was coming out, and it had already been out for a month. So I ordered it and it came on the Monday before Tuesday, which was Star Trek Day. So I was pretty excited, and I thought I'd wait until the actual day to look at it, which I did. So I have already gone through it, but I wanted to just go through it on camera and show everyone what's in it, because I don't know, I won't buy a book unless I already know what's in it, and I just like sharing it. It's better with older collectible books that are hard to find, because people are never going to be able to find one to go and actually have a look at it. This is new, but I just want to share it. So, yep, the inside pages. We could have had some big images. We just get space, space, white, white. Wasn't impressed with that. I wanted every page to be a big splash of some of the art or photos of the models or something. So I was a little bit disappointed. I'm going to try not to whine too much, but I do find this is more of a general behind the scenes making of book rather than focusing on the visual effects and the art. So I was expecting it to be more of a portfolio and a lot less text. So here we go, starting off with phase 2 and some of the art for that and the foreword. And of course they have to deal with Planet of the Titans in phase 2. It started off being a TV movie and a TV series and a movie and a TV series and backwards and forwards, and it was a mess so far as deciding what to actually do with Star Trek in the 70s, or late 70s, after the animated series. And this is the ship that eventually, the design that eventually became Discovery. And I was hoping they'd do a real sort of retro thing with Discovery early on. But there's a lot of design work that was done for the series that never saw the light, and for the movie that never saw the light. A lot of it got transferred over to the motion picture and used, but a lot of it didn't. And some of it you can see the influences, but it's interesting. There's a lot of sketches, a lot of pictures I've never seen before. And it's another shot of, you can recognise, became Discovery. Warp Experiment. Now, Rob Abel and Associates, that was a disaster. They hired this guy, and he really wasn't capable of handling the movie. Maybe when it was a small TV movie, but when it became Star Trek the Motion Picture, they should have got more people or something, because at the end of that's the other thing, they waited until almost the end of the production to realise, I mean, how did they not know when they didn't see dailies coming in, or the dailies they did see coming in were so underwhelming, how they didn't just get on top of it sooner. I think they had a couple hundred days left before the actual release date. When they realised they were in real trouble, they had more shots to do than they had days, basically. And they had to get 2 teams running around the clock to finish it off. And yeah, like I said, it's more a general making of, where they just focus on all the elements. So this is what I wanted, more full page shots of the finished models, the production art, the matte paintings, and we don't get as much of it as I'd like, and I'm going to try not to complain too much, because overall it's a book on the making of the motion picture, you know, emphasising the visuals. But I was expecting more, like, I wanted that, something like that. I would want to have the whole page so you can see all the detail, or maybe a double spread or something, but we just sort of get it in here. And yeah, the Enterprise evolved. It started off, they did a whole different ship, which I wish they'd covered in this actually, which they pretty much abandoned, and then they went into the one for the film. There are photos of the other ship, and I wonder what happened to it. I don't know if it ever got finished, if it became, what became of it. I'd like to know. But see, I would love that to have been a whole page. And then that, I would love that to have been a whole page. There's a lot of images that I just wish had been really highlighted, and they're just sort of thrown in with all the other sort of sketches and things, which there are a lot of, obviously. And like the bridge, there is not this. That's the only shot of the bridge. I'm like, how is there not multiple shots of the bridge and how they design it and what it looked like? I mean, I know we've seen the film, but I was really expecting some things to be emphasised that aren't. But there is a wealth of images that I haven't seen, and it does cover so many elements of the production. But this is what I was really wanting. Every few pages, something like this is what I was wanting. Because you can just get lost in this. You can just look at it all day. I love it. And there's a lot of images like that in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. See, I would have killed to see that as a double page like this. See, we've kind of already seen this. This is the matte shot that we see in the film, just with the live action missing. So I don't feel like we're gaining anything here, but that was production art that was never really fully realised. So I question some of their choices with what to emphasise and what to focus on. And some of it might have been the quality of the images. Maybe they weren't good enough quality to be blown up full size, which I'm not really taking into account. But this, how did they not use this? I want them to reuse this when they redo and do the HD version of the director's edition. Instead of those 3 dodgy shots of San Francisco Bay, which they took with a digital camera in 2000 or whatever, I want them to reuse like this and just finish it off. Even if they have to use this and just remove that and then put a little digital shuttle in or something, I just really want, because this is the real style of the motion picture. What they did in the director's edition never matched the rest of the footage. They were just working with a real camera standing on the dock, or not the dock, the bay basically. Just props. The space station. Shuttles. I mean, they do cover everything. And there's things that, like I said, we've never really seen before, or I've never seen, or it's hard to find. You can find pictures in old magazines and stuff, but not everything was seen, not everything was used. V'Ger was probably the most interesting element I think of it. And from what I hear, the designing and the building, they were filming one end of the model while they were finishing the upper end, basically. It was, Star Trek: The Motion Picture was a huge effort. And it's kind of legendary in that way as well. Okay. And some of the elements are really just beautiful. I'd like to just see them focus on their own. Like, again, this is more of what I was hoping to see every few pages. Just something big and stunning and just all-encompassing. But we do certainly get a closer look at the practical building of the model and the designs than we have before. Or I've seen, anyway. And then we get some basic behind-the-scenes black and white photos which really don't deserve a whole page. The spacesuits. The wing walk, which a lot of people think more of it was filmed than really was. Sadly, they didn't do much more than tests. I'd love to see some of those. I'd love to see that as a full page. Although, like I said, some of them may not hold up. But I mean, how great does that look? Wow. Same with that. Probably couldn't blow it all the way up. So yeah, I don't know. I like doing these videos because, like I said, I like to look at things that I don't have before I buy them. There's a lot of books and things you can't see when you're buying them on eBay or Amazon. You can't really see more than the first couple of pages, and you really don't know what you're getting. And especially with older collectible ones that are hard to find. And I did hear the ship was actually green and just appeared grey on screen. Because apparently the models had a lot more colour. The Vulcan shuttle was more of an orangey pink colour. The Klingon ship was more of a green. And they basically washed them out and made them all white and grey when they actually filmed them, which is a pity. And yeah, that was the original. The original one had not a lot of detail on it, much like the original series. And then obviously they realised they need to put more detail to make it look better on screen. But really, if you had a spaceship, you're not going to have all that on the outside. It's going to be vulnerable and difficult to get to. You're going to have a smooth surface like the Enterprise, and everything's going to be on the inside. So it's not really practical, but it looks amazing. I mean, everyone loves that Klingon ship. Everyone loves all the designs in this film. Really made an impression and lasted, which is why 30 or 40 years later it's getting a book like this. And again, that's the only shot of the Enterprise that gets a full page. I was expecting 3 or 4 of these at least. I've seen a few over the years, and I've always been like, oh, I wish I could just get that as a full page. It'd be gorgeous rather than just like this. So I'm very disappointed in that. So I'm trying not to whine and complain the whole time. But, yeah. Now we get to the end. And we get back to black. So far as a making of book, behind the scenes book, it's amazing. It's got so much information, so much detail. I haven't read it yet, but I'm obviously there's a lot of text, a lot of information, a lot of sketches and everything. But what I was really expecting was more of a focus on the actual art and visual effects, and more of a emphasis on the images, just filling the pages. And there's just way too much white. But this is a problem I have with a lot of books I look at. I'm always saying, why is this image here? Why are we focusing on this? Why are we emphasizing that? It's hard to work out how people come to their decisions. But I'm going to stop complaining, and I'm going to go, and hopefully you just got something out of that. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the book, if you think I'm just whining for nothing, or if there's some images in that you think should have been included or something. Let me know. Comments are fun. Thanks. Bye.